WrestleMania 34 is ironically 34 or 33 days away. And there's a few matches we'll go over. Really it's possible because there was a lot of matches made last night on Raw. Um, First off, the match that a lot of people knew about for a couple weeks, just because of the speculation if The Rock would be involved, or if Kurt Angle would be involved, or if either one of them would be involved, because The Rock, I believe, is doing another movie. I don't remember exactly, because he does so many movies at this point, it's hard to remember what he's actually doing. But he might be in one, he might not be in one. So it's like one of those things where WWE wanted to do the match from WrestleMania 31. That potentially was built up at WrestleMania 31. Uh, that'll make sense in a minute because Ronda Rousey's debut match in WWE will be a tag team match with the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Now, why is this possible, you may ask? Because we saw on Raw that, of course, it's obvious that Triple H has had two contracts over the past couple of years. A contract saying he's the COO of WWE as an executive contract, and a performance contract, which is why you saw him be the WWE champion on the road to WrestleMania 32. But you look at what Ronda Rousey has done to begin with, and it's incredible. Because you look at what she's done just in judo. She is a judo legend at this point. Has several gold medals over in judo, including a bronze medal in the Olympic Games. So you can't really call her an Olympic gold medalist, but at the same time, it's very impressive. And of course, obviously, the first ever UFC bantamweight champion, as well as a Strikeforce bantamweight champion, and a lot of other interesting things she's done in her career. But she's always wanted to be WWE, and now that she is using the Rowdy nickname, and for those that don't understand that, when Roddy Piper was still alive, Ronda asked him for the blessing of the use of the Rowdy name, and he accepted. I mean, God, if anyone was going to do it, there are very few that Roddy would give that blessing to, and I'm sure he's proud about what's going on here, for sure. I don't really like the Hot Ronda shirt. It's just, it's blatant ripoff, but, you gotta do what you gotta do to sell merch somehow. It's interesting, but it's dumb, but still. Again, like I was saying, Triple H has a performer contract and a executive contract. Stephanie McMahon has those same set of contracts. Of course, because a couple of years ago she faced Brie Bella at SummerSlam, so she has those contracts in place. So why this happened is Ronda has in her contract the one fix she wanted. It was a match at WrestleMania, and they gave it to her, and she could pick her opponent as long as it wasn't a champion, and as long as the person was on the active roster. So therefore, Stephanie qualifies for both of those. So you have the tag match that would have been Rock and Ronda, or the Rock and Ronda connection against Steph and Triple H, but now it's an Olympic dream team of Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle against Steph and Hunter here. And it's going to be very obvious what happens here. Ronda's going to win. I mean, this is her debut match, let alone at WrestleMania. People have lost their debut matches before, but Ronda, honestly, is too big of a star to lose on her debut match. It's just not possible to me, and it'll be a good send-off for Kurt if the way they're going with this is Kurt probably gets fired as general manager, and that would be a good send-off, to have that great match, and then him fired on the next night of Raw, and you can go from there. But it just doesn't make sense to me that Ronda would lose. I mean, she's already lost twice once to Holly Holm and once to Amanda Nunes, and those were embarrassing enough. So you don't want that to happen at the grandest stage. What's the biggest event of the year for WWE. Next up, another multi-man match, another multi-person match, multi-man match in this case. The Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as The Miz defends against Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Rollins and Balor both beat The Miz on the same night last week on Raw, and now they will be in the. They won the handicap match last night against Miz and the Miztourage. And ironically, Miz is about 54. He said 54, but it's probably a little more than that. Days away from becoming the all-time Intercontinental Champion. As far as combined reigns are concerned, excuse me. And I expect 54, 55, something like that. That's what he said last night. I'm just going to go off that. And by WrestleMania, he will get close to that, if not break that for sure. So the record will already be broken. But as far as this is concerned, it's weird to me. I don't know if it's just me, but, having people that were in the main event for a little while, like Balor and Rollins, to see them, what is effectively the mid-card belt, and has been for years, but it's also been the workhorse belt for over several decades. So I understand why they're in the match, because you want to have a great match for this championship. And it's probably the best match you could possibly make for this. But I feel like Miz will retain in some way or fashion. I don't know how, but I feel like the Miz will retain because it just doesn't make sense to me to put the belt on Balor or on Rollins. I mean, it's good and all, but do you really want one of your biggest stars to be locked into the Intercontinental Championship? If you want to, that's great. And at that point, I would put Finn in that because Finn's not really doing anything except the Balor Club stuff. And that would accentuate the Balor Club having gold and stuff of that nature. However, if you were to do that, you could have the angle with Jordan and Rollins. It's interesting. I don't know what they want to do. I really don't know. And, 53, 52 days away from beating Pedro Morales' reign, just for reference, that total number of days is a 2 reigned 619 days. And Miz is at 563 right now. WWE recognizes it at 565. So it's not that far off. And by WrestleMania, he probably will break that. But, I feel like, I don't know. I really don't know what they want to do. I really don't. But with that, WrestleMania is really 33 days away. So I was close. 33 days away. I didn't want to look at it. But yeah, WrestleMania is going to be a big event. And hopefully we'll find out more, especially with Asuka, who she's going to challenge. Because they keep saying the Raw Women's Championship, but, she hasn't really decided. And English is not her strong suit. I just wanted to get in there before the end because I wanted to talk about that last time, but, WrestleMania is going to be a great card. But again, as far as the Intercontinental Championship is concerned, I'm probably going to go with Miz or Balor. But it's probably going to be Miz, so we can have that record. So WrestleMania will be great. The show will be great, and things will probably pick up tomorrow or tonight on SmackDown.